Here we have parsley, salt, pepper, chicken, garlic clove, heavy whipping cream, skim milk, olive oil, butter, a lemon, 2 kinds of cheeses, Romano and original, linguini pasta, and then finally we have flour. Moving on to this next part, I'm going to cut the chicken into 4 cutlets. I will be using this by currently opening the bag, and then following, I'm going to cut it with a knife on top of the white cutting board, because you use colored cutting boards for anything else and white cutting boards for specifically food. These are some of the rules for Radke's Kitchen. During this time, while my person is cutting the meat, I would like to take this time to tell you, before all of this, I washed my hands and I prepared all of the ingredients.
Can I be there for it?
You never say that to Sarah because she plans to. Wouldn't even let us come inside.
I want to do it.
Amen.
Just be sitting there. Poor guy. A rainy day like this.
For this next part, the recipe called for a pinch of pepper, which is what I added, and then, following this, it asked for a pinch of salt. How I determined this is I asked our foods teacher, Mr. Justice, how much I should add. He specifically told me the amounts, and then proceeded to tell me to add a little bit of extra salt just to even out the recipe.
Brother, we are done!
Let's go. What do we do? 11:20, 3 hours, 20 minutes. Start.
We could say 3 hours because we had to get that stuff in. I was kind of supposed to be pushing the morning around with the pizza.
Now what we have here is hand grated lemon zest. The recipe called for a tablespoon, but how I determined this is I grated some off and shaped it in my hand. I figured this would be okay just because the amount of lemon zest needed for the recipe was a little much to just put in a tablespoon. After this, I then proceeded to mix the mixture with my hand inside of the large mixing bowl.
Why?
You don't want to clean because it's showing you guys are kind of outside. Where it's like, they don't want to the nice thing is, like, I was like, dude, I just don't want to be a burden. I don't want to feel like you got a host. And he's like that.
The recipe then called for to follow the instructions on the back of the linguini box. I then did this by using a liquid measuring cup to follow the recipe on the box. To do this, you need 4 quarts of water and a rapid boil from medium to high. Now while the water is boiling to a rapid boil, you need to mince the garlic, specifically 2 cloves, on a colored cutting board. Also, while the water is boiling, you also need to grate the Parmesan cheese in advance for the pasta. Coming back to the stove, we are now going to put the pasta in the water because it is now at a rapid boil. As well, we are going to put the butter on top of the skillet. Now that the pasta is al dente, we can then save about 1/4 of a cup of pasta water and dump out the rest of the pasta water. We can save this cup for the rest of the recipe. You then must cook the chicken until the center is no longer pink. Now that the chicken is clear off the skillet into a bowl, we can then make a roux with the garlic and the flour. Once you've made the roux for the pasta, then we can slowly start adding the heavy whipping cream and the skim milk. This will then make the Alfredo sauce. Eventually, we can add the noodles into the sauce when the sauce is fully mixed in. Once the sauce is fully mixed in, we can then slowly start to add our cheese into the pasta, which will eventually make our Alfredo noodles. Once the Alfredo is fully made, then you can mince the parsley. Once you mince the parsley, you can top the parsley on top of the Alfredo, however you wish. As long as that, you can also top the Alfredo with the chicken and the extra lemon that you have. And now for my next part, I'll be telling you a little bit more where this dish comes from. This dish comes from Italy. Some of the common exports of Italy are Italian olive oil, coffee, pistachios, wine, and cheese. These are just some of the main exports of them. Some of the main imports are wheat, maize, soybeans, and barley. Some of the common breakfast dishes of Italy are the croissant and cornetto. These are mainly common things that you can eat for breakfast in Italy. They usually consist of either a bread or some kind of cream of some kind. Some of the common lunch dishes in Italy consist of pasta, soup, and risotto. Risotto is the most common kind of cheese in Italy. Otherwise, they just range from a wide variety of soup and pasta. Some of the common dishes of dinner in Italy consist of pizza, grilled meats, fish, various vegetable-based dishes, some kind of pasta, whether it's marinara, risotto, or Alfredo. These all can vary between different kinds. Like I said in the pasta, there's many different ways you can make pasta. And for the pizza, there's many different kinds of toppings. They like fish in Italy, and they like ratatouille and other kinds of vegetable-based dishes. Some of the common drinks are wine, water, and beer. Italy is notoriously known for their love of wine and grapes, so this isn't a very big surprise to come from Italy. Some of the common snacks in Italy consist of cacciuni, tortellini, arancini, crostini. Most of these dishes consist of, again, some kind of bread or some kind of cream to go with the dish. Some of the main cooking utensils, the major thing is that there's a lot of pasta, so you're going to need a good solid metal colander for your cooking style. Traditional food customs, like I said previously, they're known for their wine and cheese, so they got some good customs for specifically for their bread and wine. Some of the table manners. You pass your food to the left, specifically in Italy. You tend to not pass it to the right. It's kind of disrespectful to eat with your elbows on the table. And to tip above 20% is uncommon in Italy. It's usually between 10 to 15%. Following that, we have the religious food customs. You may see many Italians who adhere to the Catholic faith eating lamb on Easter Sunday. So Catholic people are a big thing in Italy. This is just following the percentile and the religious beliefs. Most people are Catholic in Italy. These are just some of the popular dishes I previously talked about. The common setting. This is what a common setting for a fancy dinner in Italy looks like. Some of the common restaurants people eat at are usually pizza restaurants or pasta restaurants. These could vary from many different kinds. something a lot of people go to too are also wineries. These are just places where you can casually drink wine, and they serve bread and cheese along with the red wine. The oldest dish, this was found between 900 to 720 BC. This has been passed all the way down from the Valonian period. This dish is called tessaloroni. From what I have learned, it is not a very good dish, but it is a very, how would you say it, rememberable dish. This is just more information on the oldest food. These are my sources. Thank you very much.